Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, August 1st, 2018. Welcome to the new month of August. Quick programming note here. Later on this afternoon, I'd love for you to join me for our monthly market outlook for the month of August. We'll talk longer-term market outlook for futures, stocks. We'll talk options. We'll do some scanning for some opportunities. There's going to be a lot to enjoy here later on this afternoon, so please join me at 3:30 p.m. Central. I'll shoot the code out, but the same code that we usually use, PivotBoss, using the Join Me app. Alright, taking a look here at the ES, what you'll notice right now is price has rallied, found a high, dropped, found a low, and pushed back toward the middle point of that range. And this is all ahead of this afternoon's FOMC statement and Fed interest rate decision. We get ourselves another key level today, which is going to be very important. So if you look back here, FOMC key level 0131, that's from January 31st. This is the one that formed June 13th. And again, we're looking for a key level like that because it gives us something to trade off of. It gives us a target. In this case, the market took that level offered and we sold off until we found rejection. Once we found rejection, it made for a great target. And once price pushed through it, it has become support. And that's why it's been a key level this entire time. So we're getting another one of those this afternoon at 1 o'clock p.m. Central. We'll see what that does to shake the market up. Overall, again, the ES remains near highs. I feel like it's at a cycle high right now and perhaps needs some sort of a pullback. But just because I feel that way doesn't mean the market is necessarily going to do it. So for my taste, again, I typically like for price to come back towards support, find rejection, build energy, and then make another move. We've already done that, and we're holding at high. So right here, it's either hold and continue or wait for this thing to kind of pull back a little bit. So just being a little bit more patient with it at these levels, not the best right now to engage from the long side. But if you're a bear, many things to watch, and again, 2790 is going to be the big one, because if that one can't hold overall, it can open up a rotation as deep as 2700 or with a high odds target at around 2742 half. So that's what we'll be looking for in the ES. If we take a look here at the NQ, again, also bullish trending market overall, near or at cycle highs, probably coming off of them now. You can see kind of the lower boundary of the channel here. So we've held at the upper end of the range. We've kind of taken 7,300 offered. We're still kind of in a trending market. I mean, if you wanted to draw this trend line, you could, and you can still see that overall the market is pushing higher. How much more of a pullback do we get, if any, though, is the question. Again, at least down here toward that 69, 65, 7K level, that would be really good for an opportunity to bounce it back. That's also where the previous month's low is. So if price were to drop down below the previous month's low, fail to go any lower, that could be used as fuel to return this thing back up. So a couple of ideas to watch for here as we head into the first week of August. If we take a look at crude oil, we have crude oil inventories coming out later on in the morning, 9:30 p.m. Central. This one right now has failed to really go higher, meaningfully, has failed to go anywhere really. It's had a little channel like this. It reminds me of this day or this period of time back here, even more prolonged. We got a stop run that was significant. Yesterday was pretty significant. It was down 2%, but it wasn't as aggressive as it could have been. Maybe today we see a continuation of that if 6750 is taken out. So 6750 was the last line of defense here. If stops are taken out there, this thing can take out lows. So keep that in mind. But overall, you know, this market is kind of trading right at the center of this larger key range. This is not the best area for us to do business, and that's why we've been a little bit more cautious on a swing basis. But on an intraday basis, we've had some great movement. It's down here or up here where the great entries can occur. Over here, you have to let it kind of build out until it's ready to do its thing again. So we'll continue to do that, but it has a downward bias at the moment. VWAP can be defended, and we could be looking at much more weakness as 6750 is taken out. Again, inventories comes out later on this morning. All right, taking a look at gold futures. Now with gold, this one also holding at lows, consolidating tightly, hasn't really gone much of anywhere, but has at least held overall. It hasn't continued lower. It's held. We've seen some tails at the lower end. You can see a failed new high yesterday and a failed new low as well. The failed new low, a little more bullish since price closed higher and above the mid. But again, it's really going to take above 1240, and that's the level we talked about on this day here. I said this day right here provides an opportunity for bulls to defend 1220s and get as high as 1240. But it's really going to take above 1240 to really open things up. That could be coming soon. Again, with the FOMC key level coming out later on this afternoon, that could be an opportunity here for a major move in gold. I think 1240 is about as good as it gets, and we've got a coil that's significant on a 5-day basis. Again, yesterday it sealed that. We could be looking at a major move. If it's to the upside, 1287 could be ahead. So that could be quite the move. I wouldn't really go beyond 1300. I think at that point we might come right back on down. So right now, looking for signs of expansion. If there was any rejection at 1240, another big leg of weakness comes down, and again that takes us into 1200 and perhaps much lower. Alright, let's take one last look here at Bitcoin. Bitcoin pulling back quite a bit here since the rally into our 8500 target. I mentioned before that theoretically speaking we can drop as low as 6800 or 6700 and still be bullish. But if you profited on this move and are looking to buy the dip, or this is the zone. This is the zone. It was in that area briefly here. It's also in it here. I mean, this is kind of the area, but we haven't seen much of a bounce or rejection just yet. We started to see some signs here, but it failed. We have an LVN a little bit lower, but again, we've got to see signs of strength and rejection, and that would allow for a bounce opportunity. Otherwise, again, the primary move was from here to 8500. I said there might be something left to 9K if we get a good pullback. It's got a good pullback. We got to see now if there are signs that trigger an entry, and that would be in the form of rejection, some type of stop run, or whatever the case might be. So again, 7K here, great LVN. If we were to drop that low, ideally bulls would look to defend for a continuation or an attempt higher. Alright, that is it for now. Looking forward to seeing you all in the trading room or in the monthly outlook later on this afternoon. Take care, trade well, and I'll see you soon.